all, welcome to Tint Taste Tour. Today we'll draw this beautiful rustic antique door and flowers using watercolors. Before we start with the tutorial, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, do consider subscribing and also click on the notification bell. We will first make a rough sketch of the door and the pillars with a HB pencil, and the door is approximately placed in the center. Once the sketch is ready, I will lightly raise it off until only the slight lines are visible. For the first wash, we will start by giving just plain water wash on the paper using a flat brush. Now we'll give the first wash of color using a watercolor brush. I am using burnt umber here to give the first wash, so there is more of water and less pigment that we are using. Raw umber is more like a natural looking brown color, and along with that I am adding a little black for a toned effect, like you have patches of black and brown to show that. We are not going to go into the details immediately as this is just the first coat. If at all you don't have a watercolor brush, you can very well use any brush that you feel comfortable using. Watercolors look a little different when they dry. They look a little more blended when they are wet, like you can see here, and once they dry they look a little more patchy. So that's what we are trying to do here, as I want the wall to be a little patchy. And here I am giving grey color for the floor. For the door I have mixed turkey blue with just a little bit of Viridian, which is green, and then we are just giving the first coat for the door here. More water, less pigment or color. Now with the Hooker's green light color, I am just making a few leaves here and there. It is basically pressing the brush onto the paper to form leaf-like shapes. Now we'll start painting the wall. We are trying to create a patchy effect using brown plus black color with more of water, and we'll just give a wash of this color so the color beneath this darker tone is a little visible. So the line I'm drawing here is with reference to the column. So the one we are painting, it's the wall, and on the right side of it, it's the column or the pillar. Now using black color, we'll add a few dots here and there in the area where we have added the dark color just now. And once this is done, I'll use a paper towel, or you can also use a tissue paper to slightly dab on it. It will create a grainy or a patchy effect, as you can see. In some places it's dark and in some places it's light. For the bottom part of the wall, I'm just giving a wash of the same color that we had used for the door. Then using a darker tone of black, add a few patches or lines here and there, which will create a crack-like effect later on. Moving towards the inside part of the pillar or column, add the same brown and black shade, and using the similar technique of adding dots with black color and then just dabbing the tissue paper here, we'll create a granular kind of look here. The reason we are adding these darker tones on the wall are because ultimately we want this wall to look like an old aged wall. So ultimately there would be some places where the color of the wall is faded. In some places there would be some patches, stains on the wall, and that's what we are trying to achieve here. Using the same techniques for the front side of the pillar, we will create some darker shades, darker tones using the brown and black color. And also I have added, as you can see, some sections to the pillar. If at any point you feel mistakenly you have added some darker shades which you don't want in that place, you can immediately add in some water and dab it off with a paper towel or a tissue paper. For the bottom portion or section of the column, I want it to look like it is a little wider than the normal width of the column. So I am just adding a slight line which is outside the normal width of the column. I am adding in a little details now using darker tones, that is, we are using less water and more of color. Here I am using black color and alternating it with a little brown here and there. So you can already see after the second coat we can feel like there is a depth effect to this particular wall that we have drawn. So the wall is a little in front than that of the door. I am randomly adding in a little lines here and there and on the length of the pillar, just to show like it has an uneven edge. And then on the inside part of the pillar, we'll add a little more dark tone using black with more water. For the ground, it won't be of the even grey color, so it should look a little dusty and uneven. So I've added wash of brown and then we'll dab it with tissue paper to create that look. On the line where the wall and the ground meets, I am going to add in a little brown color to create that dark tone, so it looks like there is dust settled in on that particular edge. Then we'll add in a little more details on the wall. So here we are trying to place some stains on the wall using the color that we used for the door. And as you can see, I am not adding the black lines everywhere on the patches, just in some places. And then using black color, add a fine black line for the edge of the column. And then for the entrance as well, we will create that uneven look using the similar technique we used before. For adding details to the door, we have again mixed a little more of turkey blue with less Wardian hue and very less amount of water, so it creates a little more darker tone than the previous one. The door is divided into two sections. The lower half is slightly shorter in length than the upper half, so accordingly I am adding in the darker tones here. Do not fill in the entire door with this dark color. For the lower half of the door, we'll make a small vertical rectangle on both sides using a lighter shade of black plus brown. Now for the center line of the door, we are going to make it look like the left side of the door is slightly in front than the right side of the door. So I'm adding in a little darker shades by mixing black plus the color we used for door. Similarly, for the upper portion of the door, we'll add two longer rectangles vertically placed on both the sides. The upper end of these rectangles would be open. Here I am adding in a few strokes of burnt sienna, which is more of a dull orange color, and then on top of it, after it dries, a little black. For all of the four rectangles, we want to make them look like the edges of these rectangles are a little elevated from that of the surface of the door. So alternating between brown, black and the darker tone of the color of the door, we are going to make these edges a little dark and in some places a little light as shown. Our ultimate aim is to make this door look more rustic or antique, and so I am adding in random lines, vertical lines here with the darker tone of the door, as well as a little black and brown. Wherever you feel the lines have become very dark, you can fade them using water and dab it with tissue paper. When a door is closed, there is always a gap on the edges which looks pretty dark, so that's the reason we are adding these dark lines using black color. Once the paint dries, make the edges of the rectangle more fine using darker tones, and also add in more vertical lines using darker tones to give or to create a more rustic look. Using the same technique, darken the rectangles on the lower half as well as in between both of the rectangles placed vertically. Draw two horizontal rectangles as shown here. Adding a little more darker shade on the lower half of the door, as we are going to add two more panels in the bottom part. And similarly, we'll add darker lines to give that rustic look using the same technique. Using black color, adding a few horizontal dark lines in between the two rectangles. Wherever you feel it's necessary, keep on adding details, add lines, patches, and darken the tones. Here what I'm doing is I'm trying to create an elevated feel for the entrance. Adding a few marks on the ground as well. As discussed earlier, we are going to make the bottom part of the pillar look a little wider than the top part. Add in fine details using black color and a pointed tip brush. I've added all of the material required in the video description below. The horizontal rectangle that you see here is also a little elevated from that of the surface of the door. It is kind of a small panel. So we are going to create that look now. Draw lines, and then on the right side it would be a little dark, which will give it that 3D kind of a look. For the bottom part of the door also we are going to paint two panels, and these are going to be a little elevated again, so they would be a little, the bottom part of it would be a little extended on the entrance. To make this panel look more rustic, we are going to add in more details and shades to this door, and in the end, as a finishing touch, we'll also add in a few white lines, which we'll see later. The bottom part of the door is also kind of an edge where two surfaces are meeting, the entrance and the door. So in this part as well there would be dark color, so we are adding in black for that tone, and you can immediately see the effect that it creates. Adding in fine black lines to give the painting a nice look and feel, but as I always say, do not add in these lines throughout the painting. We do not want to create a border for all of the frames or the drawings. We just want to create shadows and the darker tones. We want to highlight them to give the painting an elevated look. Just besides the door, on the right hand side wall in front of it, we will draw a small deck on which we'll be placing a pot for the flowers. We will add in darker tones and patches here as well, similar to what we had done on the left hand side wall. And remember, there is a pillar on the right hand side as well. So for this painting, you will just see the front part of the right hand side pillar, and not the inside edge as you can see for the left side one. That's because we are drawing this painting from the right, as if we are looking at it from the right hand side, and therefore we cannot see the inside edge of the right pillar. If we were looking at the painting from the center or from the left hand side, we could have seen the inside edge of the right pillar. The sections on the right side pillar should be in sync with that on the left side, so use a scale so they are in sync and of the same angle. I am adding a wash using the same color that we had used for the door. Draw a dark line as shown here, just to give the pillar a more elevated look as compared to the wall. And then for the flowers, I have mixed a little crimson with purple lake color and also a little bit of brown with the crimson, and I'm adding a few patches of this dark color in the bottom part and in some places in the top section, and then just using the crimson lake color and the scarlet lake color, we are going to add in a few lighter tones randomly on the right hand side wall and also on the top part. So what I'm doing here is using a pointed tip brush which is holding a little more water. I am slightly pressing it on paper to form leaf-like shapes. In the first coat, it is just random shapes here and there, and then we'll slowly add in the leaf-like shapes on the edges. So here initially I'm making these leaves using a light green color, and in some places I'll also be using yellow color, and just randomly place these leaves in between the flowers and on the edges of the flowers. I also want some leaves and flowers leaning on towards the door, so I am making a few leaves towards the door, and for the top part, as you can see, we had not applied any color before, so we are going to cover almost most of the white area on the top part with the leaves randomly. Do not fill in everything, some patches should remain of the white. And on the right hand side again I'm going to show another section of leaves and flowers leaning towards the door. Once the first coat dries completely, I am going to add in a little darker tones, and for this the color I am using is Permanent Rose, and alternating between actually Permanent Rose and Crimson Lake. If you don't have these colors, you can just use one color of your choice. So as you can see, I'm just randomly adding in some spots of flowers, and after they dry they would look a little different. Usually watercolors look a bit different after they dry, so you can test them beforehand just to see which color of flowers you want to make or which color suits best for your painting. For the left part, I'm not going to use crimson color, but instead I am using the purple lake color to draw the flowers, and also for the darker tones I'm going to use the mauve color. After this coat dries, we'll again add in another coat of darker shade for the flowers, and this time I'm going to use the Scarlet Lake color here, which is a little brighter version of the color we have used before. Do not overthink while making these flowers, as we are just making random dots and these will ultimately look like a flower. So just go with the flow, and every time you add a layer, wait for it to dry to see how it looks, and then add in the next color. Now to make the leaves look a little more bright, I am going to use the green color, which is the Verdian hue. We are going to add this color in sections where we had made the leaves using the lighter green color, and do not cover the entire light green leaves. Just add in random spots so the little bit of light green is also visible. In the end, I want these to look like a bunch of flowers. For this, I am using a darker tone of crimson and just randomly applying a wash of this color in some places, so the color below also is visible. And we are not going to cover the entire painting with this, but the lighter shades also should be visible in some places. And similarly, for the left hand side, we'll use a dark mauve color to create that bunch like look. Then we are going to make a few flower petals using the same crimson color on the edge where the surface of the ground and the entrance meet. Then using a white gel pen, we will add in a few highlights on the bunch of flowers as well as on the door. And you can also use color pencils to add highlights to the entire painting wherever you feel it's necessary. So as you can see, I'm just adding a few highlights to make it look as if there's light falling there. And then we'll add in a little black color randomly to show the background of the flowers. If you find this tutorial useful, do like it and also let me know your views in the comments. Also, do subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet subscribed. See you next time with another fun tutorial. Stay safe. Bye bye.